Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Runaway Franchise, the podcast where we watch movies where for some reason they made more than 4 of them. This week, we're taking a closer look at, I don't know what year it came out, but it's called 1997's Alien Ressurection. My name is Ed, and I'm joined here by my friends Dom.
Hey.
And Tom.
This movie should have been called The Rising Erection.
Oh boy, yeah, we're getting right into it, baby.
How long did you have that stashed away
I
for?
actually had just thought of it, and I was just like, oh my god, I need to say this out of my brain right now.
So you were just sweating the whole night for just unrelated?
Yeah, unrelated.
Okay, so we just got to start it out by reading the back of the box. Let's see what this whole business is about.
Ooh.
Dom, take us through, my friend.
I will take us through the journey that is Alien Resurrection.
In this sexy flick, we are 200 years into the future, and everything has gotten sexier.
Oh, boy.
That's probably pretty true.
Put it in your back pocket. Just save it for later.
Well, now that I look at it, it's a heart-pounding, adrenaline-pumping shocker. So, yeah, no, that says that.
Boy.
So I guess Tom was kind of right. Sigourney Weaver and Winona Ryder star in this terrifying, highly anticipated sci-fi action thriller. Ellen Ripley died fighting the perfect predator. 200 years and 8 horrific experiments later, she's back. A group of scientists has cloned her along with the alien queen inside her, hoping to breed the ultimate weapon. But the resurrected Ripley is full of surprises for her creators, as are the aliens. And soon, a lot more than all hell breaks loose. Jesus, this is a long back of the box.
Yeah. Is it still going?
Yeah, we got a whole nother paragraph.
Go.
To combat the creatures, Ripley must team up with a band of smugglers, including a mechanic named Call, Winona Ryder, who holds more than a few surprises of her own. That's not the end yet. Alive with spectacular special effects and co-starring Ron Perlman, Dan Hedaya, J.E. Greenman, Brad, a whole bunch of other names that you've never heard of. Alien Resurrection is riveting, pulse-pounding, roller coaster ride, and a giant erection. Come aboard if you dare and witness a whole new breed of terror.
Okay. All right. Well, podcast over. The back of the box was long enough to take care of the whole thing.
Jeez, that was a long one.
That was the longest back of the box probably ever. I think we're going to take you guys through the movie real quick. This was an hour and 56 minutes.
Another long one.
Another
really
long one. And really, like, the plot is like, all right, Ripley's back. She's a clone. We're trying to make the aliens weaponized again in a different capacity. Instead of Wayland Yutani Corporation, we're now dealing with the military.
Is that what we're doing? It was the military?
Yep. Yeah, I wrote it down. They make some, like, reference. My whole problem at the beginning of the movie is you're like, what's going on? And then, like, it's not bad dialogue, but it's so straightforward. Like, every time you're like, ooh, how'd they get there? It's be like, well, you know why we're here. We're here because of this, and this. Yeah. Also, this too.
They really just kind of, circumvent actual storytelling and just specifically state their motives and everything.
Yeah, at one point I wrote down, I'm glad everything is so carefully explained with this subtle dialogue. It's like, oh, why are the aliens there? Well, good thing we got the aliens for this reason, and this reason as well. In case you were still confused, it's like they almost broke the fourth wall just to, like, explain the movie.
To be fair, there's absolutely nothing that's subtle about this movie.
No. Subtlety is not Alien Resurrection's strong point. And it's not, actually, you know what? I thought the Ripley reveal was pretty cool. They show her in a clone tube. Actually, it wasn't that cool. But, basically, they bring her back because at the end of Alien 3... Oh, Tom, were you correct? You were absolutely fucking wrong. They did not land on an alien planet. There were not... No. So, that was off.
I was right about clones. I believe I said something about clones.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, because Ripley died at the end, and it's pretty obvious that Sigourney Weaver's in this movie.
And I said there was something about the Queen, didn't I?
Dude, I don't remember what you actually said.
That was a long time ago. So they bring her back because they got a sample of her blood, even though she was melted completely in fire.
Yeah.
And she has the alien inside of her. The alien queen is inside of her.
So that's what I didn't understand. If you clone somebody using their DNA, it's going to have all... Say if you were pregnant, it's going to have that baby too? It's going to have the same full stomach. You just ate a sandwich when you died. It's going to have that same sandwich in there?
Hey, man, it's the future. It's 200 years later after that event.
Took them a long time. That's a long time to clone. Technology's moving pretty slow in this franchise.
They hit a peak. Clearly, they've hit a peak. So she's back, and she can't speak words.
They just kind of have to reteach her because she's a clone. So
But she has an adult.
Right. They were fascinated with this. She's the 8th clone, as you find out with the tattoo on her arm. And she's the most advanced, and she's got some powers.
Right.
She's got some alien parts to her too, because she has the acid blood.
Right.
You learn that.
Think at first, why is Ripley so strong? But thankfully, there was a carefully placed conversation between two science
Thanks,
guys.
science.
They just happened to be talking about how since they cloned her DNA crossed with the alien or something. It's really, we're dealing with Resident Evil. It's the same fucking thing. We just realized that today.
She's mixed with the T virus.
Yeah, whatever. Oh, yeah, more or less she's part queen now. Fast forward a bit, literally fast forward a bit. So this ragtag crew of space guys and gals.
Human traffickers?
Yeah, smugglers.
Yeah,
As they
they're
were
smugglers,
referred to, led by Ronnie P. and the boys.
Ronnie P. and the boys.
I don't
Yeah.
even think he's the leader.
No,
the
he's
leader's
not.
some gravelly voice
Oh,
maniac.
he's so gravelly. So they come on board. Their job was to bring people. They
the science
kidnap
guys.
people to the science guys so science guys could test out the queen alien eggs.
Yeah, they raided ships and took the hyperbolic, I don't know what
The
to call it.
cryotubes.
Cryotubes,
dude.
so they can conduct
Their experiments.
experiments.
Really, their experiments is let's watch what the aliens do.
And guess what? They made the aliens, and all hell broke loose. Because what the fuck else would happen if you make a bunch of aliens on purpose?
More than all hell broke loose. The box was right.
Yeah, the box was totally right. It was explosive and 50 other adjectives. So your ragtag crew has a run-in with the military people because Winona Ryder's like trying to kill Ripley because she's like, I gotta stop this, and we're like, okay, sure.
She knew that Ripley was somehow pregnant and with the alien baby.
Right.
And then she wanted to stop it, which is fine, but she already had the alien baby. So she was like, oh, darn. What am I
Oh, damn
supposed to
it.
do?
Oh, I guess I'm here for nothing. And she goes back with her crew, and her crew gets in trouble. And conveniently, at the same time, the aliens three of them are in a pen with the science guy who's making kissy faces at them and
Great.
being all sorts of weird.
Literally has his face up against a window,
Finding
making
out
kissy faces with the alien queen.
The important part of the kissy face scene, though, is you realize he has the red button with the freeze stuff, and the aliens don't like the freeze spray.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Also, that guy was a perfect pick because it was Chucky, the guy who plays Chucky in the movies.
Yep.
He was a creep, and he's a creep now in this movie.
So now what happens?
They get loose by killing one of their own. Then
Yeah,
their
they have
acid
a-
blood gets them out of their chamber.
That was pretty cool.
I like that.
Yeah.
That was one of the only things, like, I've seen this movie a couple times before, and that was one of my, like, ooh, can't wait for that part, because that was pretty cool. And I think it held up.
The aliens look good.
They look good. They're big, they're slimy.
Why are they so wet all
They're
the time?
always wet. I don't know.
You know why.
Ugh.
They're getting sexy.
I hope not. I thought that was cool, though. The way they escaped was, like, the three aliens in the pen were like, yo, let's get the third guy. And the third guy was kind of like, all right, I guess, if it's for the greater good, because they got that whole hive mind thing going on. Right?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
It's all for the queen.
So they peck them and they kick them and they whip them with their tails, and basically the acid blood
Corrodes the floor.
corrodes the floor, and they are now free in the ship.
The ragtag bunch of smugglers are the only ones who are survivors because they had an altercation with the army men. They kill part of the army, and then the aliens kill the rest of the army. Now we're trying to figure out what's going on and also escape the ship yet again. Escaping is always the point of these movies. We gotta escape.
Most movies are pretty much everything we've watched is like, gotta escape now. All hell is broken loose. Gotta go.
Escape in a certain amount of time, too.
Yes.
Always gotta have a countdown.
I mean, how else would you know how long is left in the movie? It's always a countdown.
So the queen that came out of Sigourney Weaver is also part human, so it has to like give birth
The normal way.
kind of like a human, but like if humans
big
gave
problem.
birth in an awful way,
I'm sorry, I have to bump in
because she gives birth to like normal ones
because
too.
there's like a million fucking eggs.
Yeah, but it's probably a combination of two things.
Yeah, maybe.
Like,
All right, whatever. Go. I
so
don't care anymore.
Right. The whole premise is she's giving birth like a human, but,
Yeah.
But she
for some
also-
reason she also gave birth to eggs previously,
yeah,
but
quite
whatever.
a few.
so she gives birth to normal aliens, but also gives birth to a human xenoform
Yeah, he's more human than xenomorph.
who's
but
made of like yogurt.
He's very pale. He's very yogurt.
He's like if a skeleton got covered with yogurt and had a little bean on his nose.
He got a little sniffy guy there.
Yeah.
And he comes out of the womb in most horrific fashion, rips off the queen's face for some reason.
He's pissed off.
And then has like some cuddly action with
That's
Ripley.
not his real mom. He relates more to Ripley than he does to the alien. So he's like, fuck you, I'm going to whack your face off. I'm eating a donut.
So he's got human teeth and yogurt and whatnot. So then when Ripley escapes while he's killing a scientist that was in a cocoon, Chucky, and that's pretty much the rest of the countdown sequences that Ripley's trying to get to the spaceship before they leave to the planet Earth. We're going to Earth for the first time.
Because it's standard emergency protocol to dock the ship back at Earth.
They can't exactly explode this ship because there's no self-destruct function, apparently. So you know what?
No, there is. They just don't have enough fuel left.
Oh, you need fuel to self-destruct. Okay, I didn't know that.
That's why they needed the coolant in the first
You're right,
movie,
you're
man.
right, you're right. So instead, let's crash this bad boy into the planet. And
In spectacular fashion.
Nothing bad will happen.
Ron Perlman says it best, right? He says, yeah, that place is a shithole.
Yeah.
So they don't really care if...
I'm actually curious. So the end of the movie is that they land on Earth and they're all fine, whatever. But Ripley and Winona are hanging out near a destroyed Paris, and I can't help but wonder if Paris was destroyed before the ship exploded, or that was just the way Earth is just shitty now.
I think it was the way that Earth was, because it didn't look like there was an explosion there recent time.
Right. All the architecture looked like it had gone through aging.
Yeah.
More so than just getting evaporated.
Really, the main plot of most of these movies is, all right, we're cool. Oh, God, all hell broke loose.
Aliens,
and then timed countdown, and then we got to get off the ship. It's not safe here anymore, right? Even shit 3?
Yeah, they all kind of follow the same thing, but this one added some things that I kind of liked to it.
Like just more sexiness.
I think...
just like the idea of Ripley and the Queen are both part human and part xenomorph.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. And
this was honestly a better third movie than the third movie was.
The third movie
and
is...
I don't mean that in I don't mean that in quality of the film. I mean in the storytelling between movies. Like, this is a better third movie.
I don't think the third one had to happen.
No, not at all.
If this was the third one, I would have been totally fine with it. I'd be like, yeah, strong in a different way.
I kind of enjoyed this one. I kind of enjoy Resurrection. It's way more watchable. It's way more quotable. It's way more weird. It's way more weird, and it's also a movie.
Yeah.
3 is none of those things.
No.
There's nothing interesting that happens in 3.
Hey, guys.
Yeah.
Do you want to go to the lobby?
Ooh, I need some snacks.
Okay.
I want some Raisinets.
I would love.
I think we should just step out for a second.
Okay.
All right.
And maybe just check out some refreshments.
Let's all go to the lobby to get
Hey, you know what's great? Advertising. We really don't have any, though. If we had a sponsor, I'm sure I'd be telling you all about the mildly convenient food box where you still have to cook the food. Maybe a mattress that comes all rolled up in a little box.
You don't say.
Oh, yeah, they're the best, apparently. I have one, actually.
Ooh.
But it's not the one that advertises on podcasts.
Oh.
Or I could tell you how to build a beautiful website in really easy steps, but we don't have that sponsor either. So we're going to do all we can to just maybe kind of promote ourselves. This week is an ad for Dom. You can find him over at domsfunandgames.com. What's Dom's Fun and Games? Well, it's kind of like a YouTube channel. It's a little bit of a blog, and most importantly, it's entertaining. You can find video game news, reviews on old games, roundups, all sorts of event coverage. So that's Dom. He's our podcast buddy, and you can find him at Dom's Fun and Games. Maybe next time we'll have a sponsor. Probably not, but we'll probably talk about Tom, and then we'll talk about me, and I'm leaving myself for last so I don't really sound super egotistical and crazy, but I probably do anyway.
Wow, I'm going to go visit Dom's Fun and Games right after this.
Oh my god, I can't wait to go to
I'm
that.
going to do it during the movies.
Oh, don't do that.
All right.
But go to it after.
Oh, I'll do it in the lobby.
Okay.
Right now.
We're going to come back right now. So now that we know what happened in Alien Resurrection, why don't we go over some highlights of the movie? I mean, instead of going scene for scene through all the plot, I think there definitely were a couple scenes that stood out as either cool parts or just stuff that was good about this movie, because there was definitely good stuff, and there's definitely bad stuff, and there's definitely really silly, ridiculous stuff. Dom, what were some of your favorite parts of this movie?
Okay, my favorite part is really silly, and it just kind of is.
Is it your favorite? Is this a good part, or you want to save it for silly parts?
No, this is kind of silly. My favorite actual part.
Because I don't want to like say that this movie was a total goof, because there was like some actually cool shit that had to do with Alien.
There was some cool stuff that had to do with Alien. I think my favorite part is when Ripley falls into, well, she doesn't actually fall. She kind of gets trapdoored into the alien lair. And Tom hates this scene, but I think it's pretty cool.
It's really oogie,
just because it looks really, really awesome when the alien queen is giving birth to the little freakazoid, half human, half xenomorph. I mean, it just looks awesome.
To my defense, I don't hate it because, like, I hate this movie. It's just like, ooh, it's gross.
It's so gross, but
There's
it looks
a lot of gross out.
It looks really good. And then when Dr. Chucky is like, oh, the birth of a new baby, and then he's like, come over here, and like he goes,
beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, you're so cute.
and he like goes to like give it a kiss because Ripley kind of did like a similar action.
Yeah.
The alien just kind of gets pissed off and bites him in the head.
No, he
Just
bites his head halfway. Yeah, half of it is gone.
It's gone. That was my favorite part.
It's also similar to how he reacts to his mother, because him and his mother were like doing these like cry calls to each other, like.
Oh yeah. The cat when the mother was captured.
And then his like Bean got mad and he ripped her face off. When I say Bean, he has like a little flat nose thing.
Yeah.
I think my absolute favorite part was when Ripley decides to do a mating ritual with Ron Perlman by showing off her basketball skills.
She's got mad skills.
Yeah.
So many mad skills.
Good.
A lot of just like passing it to herself and getting him in real close, even to a point where she like puts her arm past his head and dribbles the ball behind him. And then what does she do to him?
She kicks the shit out of him.
No. She does like a bounce pass between her legs and it hits him in the wiener.
Oh yeah.
And then she like open palms him like across the room.
And also to follow my favorite part is that the guy, I believe his name is Christy or Chrissy or something. He takes a barbell with weights on it and just straight up pikes her in the face with it, and she no-sells it.
Yeah.
And it's brilliant, and I love it.
That was cool.
I don't believe you, Tom.
No, I actually thought that scene, it's stupid.
Okay.
It's stupid, but it's fun. It was silly.
I guess the silly section's out the window.
I mean, if you that was going to be a completely separate part?
Yeah, I thought we were going to try and say why maybe this movie is good and worth watching and better than number 3.
Oh, damn. Well, I guess my favorite part then, I thought the underwater scene was done actually pretty well.
Yeah, that looked cool when
when the aliens were swimming in.
Especially when they shot that one alien underwater and it just like exploded but then imploded kind of.
Yeah.
It was cool.
It was like a depth charge kind of thing.
Even though they were in there for what, 3 minutes and 30
it was
seconds?
3 minutes.
I
and
couldn't
30
hold my
seconds.
breath.
Yeah, no.
How long did you get?
I got like a minute.
A minute and a half.
A little
think.
less.
Yeah.
We got to start like on the website a counter of you versus the movie.
Yeah.
Because we've done this a couple of times now.
I mean, I'm not a great swimmer by any means. I'm probably the worst of the bunch.
The world record is actually like 22 minutes.
Holy, that's
or like
pretty...
20 minutes, because I was reading about it, and there's some sort of weird part about like when you actually like pass out, when the person actually passed out or not.
So I weren't sure exactly when he did.
Yeah, so there's a record that's like 19 minutes, and then there's the next record that's 22 minutes, but the 22 minutes one isn't considered the longest.
We were recording until they died. And honestly, we're not quite sure when they passed. So we're going to give them the record.
The thing that always upsets me with the underwater scenes, though, is one person going 3 minutes. All right, maybe believable. 2 people, you're starting to push it a little bit.
Yeah.
This one especially, this movie, they had like 6 people.
Whole crew Olympic swimmers.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
And they were freaking out. Like, they were able to like yell and scream underwater and keep their breath held for another like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Fighting off these aliens and, well, running away from them. And there was an interesting fact that Winona wanted a stunt double to do this scene, because I guess they actually did underwater, and she had nearly drowned at the age of 12, and she like had an extreme phobia of drowning during this shoot.
It looked pretty hazardous.
You know, now that you mentioned it, I don't remember seeing her in that scene as much. I remember seeing Ronnie P. and, Sigourney Weaver, and then the one girl who died underwater, but I don't remember seeing...
Well, she falls and she's shot shot by the evil science man. She
Oh,
falls in
okay.
the water.
Yeah.
Right.
What's your favorite scene, Ed?
I think throughout the effects were really good.
Yeah, definitely.
They really avoided using the computer. Like the last one, they were like, dudes, we got a computer. We can make an alien do whatever we want. It's going to look great. And it looked absolutely like dog shit.
Worst.
And here they tastefully use CGI. And of course, you had a couple more years of advancements, but mostly it was very heavy on practical effects. I think the aliens looked really good.
Yeah, definitely.
I think throughout, there were a lot of gross out scenes that were cool. I liked the beginning of the movie where they pulled the alien out of Ripley. It was really convincing. It looked real.
Okay, yeah, they were doing surgery on the clone, and she had the baby in there.
And then, of course, one of the most disturbing parts of the movie was when Ripley walks past the door and she says, "This is I-7 or L Lab 7."
Oh, no, it said 1 through 7.
1 through 7.
1 through 7.
Yeah, because
Oh
she's
my
number
God.
8.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's a room that has 1 through 7 on it. I'm a fucking idiot, apparently. I did not catch on to that at all.
It was a weird font. Tom, you can confirm, font man.
I thought it was like...
I mean, there was
I'm
no
picturing-
crossbars, so you didn't really have to think it was the eye either.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or whatever, man. So 1 through 7 are in here. I'm number 8. I should probably look in here. And it's a lab with all the fucked up, horrible, absolutely failed clones. So you got
Yeah.
like little alien babies. You got fully grown woman with alien teeth, which looks a whole lot like Nemesis from Resident Evil.
Yeah, that was...
I did like the cousin It tube, the one
Yeah,
that
the
just
really
had
hairy
ridiculous
one.
hair.
But she rounds the corner because she hears them breathing, and there's this like super fucked up, like really grotesque, but still has a fully formed Ripley face
And alive.
and alive. Oh, it's alive.
Cronenberg
Yeah.
Ripley.
Yeah, Cronenberg.
And she's like, can't really talk well, but she's just like, "Oh, kill me!" And she's just like, "Oh God, I guess I gotta kill this." And she goes like buck wild with a flamethrower in the clone room. I don't know, that like super fucked up alien really was pretty disturbing.
Yeah, you were saying that you remember being disturbed by your first watches.
Yeah, because I definitely saw this movie when I was way too young. Shout out to my grandpa for letting me watch this. I think, like I said before, this is one of the first movies I saw on DVD.
Was this R? Is this R?
Yo, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think, weren't they all are?
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know, man. As a young lad, I was watching
All sorts
R
of
all
horrible
the time,
shit.
so it was...
Oh, Predator, you can see that at age 8. You'll be fine.
Hey, that's not anybody's fault but the damn advertisers because they marketed toys.
Dude,
Predator
action
toys,
figures.
RoboCop
I had
toys.
so many alien toys.
Yeah, exactly.
I also thought it was cool throughout. I think the aliens were really well done. I think like the action sequences were pretty good too. You don't like 'em?
Not the one
Well,
I'm thinking
the
of.
one I want to mention, I'm thinking you're thinking the same thing, Tom.
Yeah.
My favorite silly scene was when they're in a standoff with the smugglers are in a standoff with the
God.
military.
Can I pause for 1 second?
Sure.
The action sequences were clearly didn't belong in that part. Please continue.
So they're just in a standoff.
Oh, I
and
actually wasn't thinking of this.
one of the guys, the guy Christie, he like has 2 guns like shoot out of his sleeves, and he like shoots up a couple of military guys, and then Ron Perlman shoots up a couple of military guys, but then one sneaks behind Christie's back and is just like, "Put down the guns!" And he's like, "I can't, they're attached to my hands." And he's like, "If you don't do it, I'm gonna kill you." And then he just like has his hands up in the air, looks up at a pipe, shoots the gun, it ricochets 1, 2, 3 times.
Yeah, it bounces off basically 2 lights.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 2 or 3 bounces.
Yeah, and it just hits the guy behind him in the head.
Yep.
It was ridiculous and just super
What a great
campy.
shot.
Yeah, he's so good.
I
at
thought you
shooting.
were talking about I guess I can include this into silly parts, is the scene where Chrissy had just fought off one of the aliens, got spit in the face, and the handicapped
Oh, God.
dude took over, and they were stuck between the door and an alien, and Ron Perlman just
That was
like
awesome.
goes upside down, double gunning, and just shooting randomly, honestly, like to the side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
This was probably the worst effects
the guns.
scene overall, was the guns just shooting like red and randomly.
They did like a tracer bullet type thing.
Yeah, it
It
didn't,
didn't
look
play.
good.
It didn't play well.
No.
Also in that same scene where the alien shoots
no.
the acid at Christie's face.
Yeah.
And it looked very, very bad.
I have another problem with this scene. So immediately before this scene is the cool underwater scene.
Yeah,
And
right.
I thought it was cool that like you're like, oh my God, they've been underwater for a long time, and then they finally get to the surface and it's covered with like an alien membrane.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh shit, we got to get through it. So Ripley busts through, and they pop up, and they're surrounded by alien eggs. And that's not typically a good thing. So Christy?
I think it's Christy.
Christy's back with the trick bank shot that he's established previously in the movie.
Yep.
That he's like, oh, there's a mirror. I'm going to bounce these grenades off the mirror and into the alien eggs. And he does it.
Yeah, it was.
And that's how they get out of the water. It was terrible.
I thought it was kind of funny.
Oh, God. But
also, I actually just thought of this. How did Call is revealed to be a robot?
we forgot
That's
that
Winona's
part.
Ryder's
Yeah.
character. It's
So
not that important.
Call is killed during the scene we're talking about, and she falls into the water, and you think she's gone for good. But then opens the door from the other side.
She found another way around.
Yeah, she found a way out, man. Robots don't need to breathe. I think that's
How
fine.
convenient.
I'm fine with
It
that.
was quite convenient.
Why
You know
didn't
what?
they find that way the first time?
You see,
Because
the whole,
underwater, she definitely had some like, I don't have to breathe. I'm gonna fake it. Because she clearly throughout the movie, she did not want to be a robot. She just wanted to be a people.
she also said she was disgusting
Right.
as a robot. Also, Tom, it was convenient because that's what robots are there for.
Convenience.
Our convenience.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know
I
what's
buy.
not convenient though? If you're strapped to the back of a handicapped man climbing a ladder, and you get your face sprayed by an alien. The dude without use of his legs, he's holding on the ladder. Christy, who's strapped to his back, gets sprayed by the alien, and then Ron Perlman, after shooting like 100 bullets at the alien, which we just mentioned looked terrible, hits the alien in the head. The alien goes limp. He's dead.
Still hanging on
But
to
his
Chrissy's
feet
foot.
is still
Yeah.
hanging on. He's still hanging on to the feet. You think you'd be able to kick a dead guy off your foot, right?
Or
So-
just gravity.
Yeah, just whatever. Just like maybe just move a tiny bit. Aliens are always goopy. I'm sure he's very slippery. No. I gotta unclip myself and then have this unnecessarily dramatic scene and then pull out a knife while everyone's screaming, "Don't do it!" And then he cuts the strap, and him and the alien, they just fall into water.
Yeah.
Which he totally could survive.
They were only like 15 feet up.
Could have gone right back on
He
that
could
ladder.
have just got back on the like. I'm not even entirely sure he's dead.
I think we can just assume
Well, when the ship blows up, he is
Yeah,
dead.
but come
Yeah.
on.
we can assume that Christy, he's quite a handsome man, and he really just didn't want to live anymore
Yeah.
after his face was
Oh.
disfigured. You can see that with the foreshadowing of ricocheting the grenades off the mirror. He's quite vain.
Yeah.
All right.
It's the only logical explanation.
It is.
Dom, what did you absolutely hate about this movie?
I enjoy campy movies. I already said this is much better than 3 because it's fun to watch with people. I probably wouldn't watch it so much by myself. If it's on, I'll catch it. It's definitely a fun movie. I don't really hate anything. I think kind of the beginning is really the only part I'd really dislike. I think, again, the length is probably, if this was an hour, I would even go as far as my favorite movie time, 88 minutes.
Ooh, you do under 90?
Yeah, I think you could do under 90 with
I
this
was thinking
movie, and
93 for this.
I think you could do that, and it would be a much more enjoyable movie. The only thing I really disliked is the beginning. It kind of drags. Nothing specific.
What about the hairy shoulders?
No, keep that in. One of the
Military
military
head guys.
The leader,
Marines,
really.
Yeah, he wakes up when he hears the aliens, I guess, messing stuff up, and he's in his jammies, and he's got a wife beater, and he's got the hairiest shoulders
They're
I've ever.
so furry.
Like he's got like afros on his shoulders, and I think they put that scene in just to
Show off the
the
shoulder.
shoulder hair. I leave that in.
Yeah. Tom, did you really dislike anything about this, or how'd you feel?
Specifically disliked the very, very beginning with the bad insect animation and the guy
Oh
just busting
God,
it.
this was easily the worst opening titles of any of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
It really sets up a bad tone.
But
Yeah.
I do want to add another part that I loved.
Okay. All right.
Another part I loved was the hairy shoulders man. Probably was the most successful or most competent leader we've had in the whole
Yeah.
franchise. So people are trying to get to this escape pod,
Oh, this was cool.
and they strap themselves into the gravitron. I call it a gravitron because it looked like a gravitron. I don't know if you guys have that at your local fairs, but the alien goes into the gravitron where everybody's strapped down and obviously goes to town with them. And this Commander Hairy Shoulders rolls a grenade into the pod, releases the pod down the shaft,
Yeah.
and then detonates it. And it's probably the most competent you can
does it
get
all
in any
super
of
quick.
these movies. But sadly, he meets his ultimate demise like a second later.
Yeah, that was. Honestly though, if I'm dying and I do something that fucking cool,
Yeah.
I'll just die.
Yeah, out of 12, he took out 1, so that's still...
Well, the way he died, he got aliened in the back of the head, and then he went cross-eyed because he's like, "Ooh, this hurts," and he like touched back there, but also pulled a bit of his brain out.
Yeah.
You had to see
You gotta check.
what was in there.
I would not do that.
Well, maybe have you ever gotten the back of your head knocked out before? Maybe it wasn't
No.
thinking straight.
Okay.
Things that I did not like. I'm gonna do what everyone else did and just talk about other shit that was cool in the movie. So at the end, we didn't really talk about the fun ending where Yogurt Monster is now on the spacecraft and he's going after the robot. Then Ripley sees a window and she throws her blood, her mildly acidic blood, at the window, and it pops a hole in the window and space is a vacuum.
Oh.
So the alien basically gets his whole fucking asshole sucked out through this little pinhole.
It's so long and so good.
It's forever, because you know what? They definitely spent a lot of money on the practical effects for that. Like,
Yeah.
the back of the ship is just like CGI shit shooting out of a hole. But like inside, he's screaming and flailing, and there's like guts flying out, and they actually definitely sucked something through a hole.
Yeah,
for
they
that.
did something really good with the actual screams. Like they
Yeah.
combined it with a
Everything
human,
was
I guess.
good. I don't know. Overall silliness, I think like some of like the tones of the movie were like not sure if dark or mildly sexual or
Mildly sexual? Ripley goes throughout the whole movie just rubbing faces with everyone.
She's a total fucking
She
creep.
sniffs that Ross-looking dude. She rubs beans with the milky dude.
Oh.
And
Rubbing beans with the milky dude.
and then like has Winona like penetrate her hand in the most sexual way with a knife.
Yeah, she also fingers her milk hole.
Oh, fingers her milk hole. Yeah, like this movie, they must have like read the Wikipedia page of how Ridley Scott wanted to add a sexual component.
Yeah.
We
And
got you, dude.
And just went to town with it, and I loved every minute of it. Way better than the third one.
Yeah.
No sexual. Well, there was sexual components in that, but they were very violent with their sexuality. Ripley
Yeah.
was very caring with her sexuality.
Okay.
It was just
She even went,
creepy.
even when she went into the alien hole, she was just like, "I love all of this," and she's being carried by her alien son or grandson,
cradled
Grandson.
gently.
cradled, and she's just like going into that pit, being like, "I know,
Yeah, she definitely.
I love you, man."
You know, you bring up that point, and it's kind. You
It was
bring it
like
up as
the
a joke.
fucking most comfortable. She like found her sleep number on
Yeah.
the alien shit and was just like, "This is great."
But she was getting carried by her alien grandson, and like at first she was just like, but then she like kind of went into the hug and got cradled even more.
They're
It was-
definitely warm, and then like that slickness must like, I don't know, it must be like
No,
how
please.
people feel like bathing in gack. Like it must be amazing.
okay.
There was a lot of weird shit about this movie, but ultimately I think we had a good time watching it.
Yes, definitely.
It's entertaining.
Number 3 was really fucking bad. Like,
Yeah.
it was hard to watch. Like, I got up and made like 4 different snacks and coffee because I just could not sit still. And this, I remember bits and pieces, but mostly I forgot about most of it. But I had a good time.
And a lot happens. There's scenes that we can probably still talk about.
Yeah, but you
Where
know what?
where the third movie, you kind of just ran out of scenes because they just repeated everything.
Yeah, there's a lot, and there's even some we're not mentioning. Like, I would even say, like, go out and see this one, and you can
Definitely.
definitely 100% skip number 3.
Yeah.
Number 3 didn't have to happen. They established early on that they're 200 years in the future. You assume Ripley's probably pretty fucking dead.
Yeah, you can just
know,
go into knowing
you
that
could just-
Ripley
yeah.
dies in the third one. That's all you need to know. Just listen to
mean-
us say that now. She dies in the third one.
Yep.
Now go watch the fourth
I mean,
one
actually,
instead.
you can do the same setup because they're in the pods, the cryopods, in the end of the second one. Just have her come out of that cryopod.
No, but then she wouldn't be a clone with the alien inside of her. She wouldn't be Super Ripley.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah. So
Okay.
maybe just show her ship crashing or something. And 200 years later. I don't know, Tom.
Hey,
how
Joss Whedon knows how to make an entertaining movie, and we didn't mention that he directed this movie.
I thought he
Okay.
wrote
Oh,
it.
he
Did
wrote it.
He
wrote
wrote
it.
it.
He wrote it. Sorry.
Okay.
Close enough.
Some French guy. Gillette?
Penn Jillette.
Penn Jillette and Robert Goulet.
Yep.
Goulet? Robert Goulet?
The all-star directing team.
I don't know how to say his last name.
Oh, God. Jean-Pierre Jeunet.
Jeunet.
Robert Goulet and Penn Jillette. Oh, fuck.
Okay.
Dom, put them in order.
It's so easy. It's 1, 2, 4, 3. So easy. I'm gonna even do this. I'm gonna just quickly say one, very close to. I'm gonna say a very close 4 to 2, and then a distant sub Resident Evil number 3, and that is my ranking. Tom.
Yeah, so my ranking is still 1, 2, Alien Resurrection, and then Resident Evil Extinction, and then Alien 3.
Perfect.
Like they said, there's no arguing it. The first is great. The second is great but different, but just a little bit less great. The fourth was fun to watch, but not the best ever, but still fine.
Yeah.
It's good in like a
popcorn movie.
like Hot
Yeah,
Shots
I wouldn't
in a sense,
mind it.
like it's fun.
And then you walk for like a really long time, like a really like your feet hurt long time, and then you like throw 3 in the gutter. It was so bad.
And it was just so much more sexier than 3.
Oh my god, Tom
This
is
movie was
clearly
so
into the
sexy.
sexy alien movies.
She-
He can't wait for Species, because I'm sure they made like 8 of those shitholes.
Oh
no.
my God, they made at least 4. I'm
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
say 5.
That's gonna be the movie for Tom right there. So there you
But
have it.
but I mean that movie is cradled to being sexy. These are not.
You don't know
try
that.
to make something that it's not, Tom.
I
You
don't
read
know.
one
She was
factoid
rubbing
and
up
you're going-
against her milky grandson.
You know what? If I had to rub against a yogurt man to get out of somewhere alive, I'd probably do it. She does the bait and switch. She clearly doesn't like him. She's like, oh, it's okay. And then she's like,
Yeah.
fuck you. I'm going to climb through this hole. And she's gone. She's
Yeah.
out. And then she runs like 600 yards. She jumps a gap. She's like doing sports shit. Very heavy sports theme.
It's the 90s. Basketball was huge.
Yeah.
I am confused about her motives for a lot of the movie. I feel like they could have been a little bit clearer with her motives,
I
because
think they tried
sometimes it
to-
seemed like she was on the alien side.
Well, she was
and then
part
other
alien.
time-
That's why she
Yeah,
was
man.
confused herself.
You just figured out the movie.
I guess so. I don't think it was well communicated.
Because now, like, she's on Earth. Is she just, like, fine now? She's like,
Yeah,
I guess
she's
me and
fine.
Winona Ryder are going to live in the ruins of the Eiffel Tower.
Apparently, the original script, there was supposed to be a final battle on Earth.
Okay, they ran out of money
No, they just kept rewriting it until it was different.
until the money
because
stopped.
because the movie originally wasn't supposed to have Sigourney Weaver, because I read something where she didn't like the idea of the Alien vs Predator movie, so she had decided to be killed off.
Okay.
And wasn't going to deal with this shit anymore. But then she read a script that was originally supposed to be the cloned remains of the girl from the second movie. Newt. And that was going to be the movie. And then Sigourney Weaver read the script and was actually into it.
How much did this movie cost, Tom? Do you know?
So the budget of this movie was $60 to $75 million.
And how much did it make?
This is off of Wikipedia, so I'm guessing this is a worldwide record. The figure is 160 to 161 million.
Okay,
So it did well.
It did pretty well.
But this is the end.
Yeah,
This is the end.
kind of.
No, it is. For right now?
In what way?
Well, the other movies are all prequels.
Oh.
We didn't even
yeah.
realize it, but we just watched the fucking end.
Okay. Yeah, Prometheus. I knew Prometheus was prequel, but yeah, Covenant's a
Covenant's
prequel?
after Prometheus and before Alien.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So
Now the end of Alien, as we know it, this plot line with Sigourney Weaver, she just fucking starts dating Winona Ryder, the
Yeah.
robot, and they live in Paris.
It's so romantic being in Paris with Winona Ryder, just having sexy good times with your robot friend.
Oh God.
Okay.
She's got a milk hole.
Oh God. Again. I think I would have liked a more defined. All right. So the movie made $100 million, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I think based on that, they could have probably gone on to do another one.
Sure. Yeah.
But for whatever reason, that was 1997.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's now been 20 years.
Well, when did Prometheus come out? That was 2013.
But like Prometheus wasn't like a Sigourney Weaver alien movie.
Okay, yeah, but she got older, man. She wanted to do,
Avatars.
Avatar movies. and Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah.
In a similar role.
But like leaving the alien story off as just like, all right, my weird baby got sucked out a window and now we land on Earth. Like, I don't like that.
If you look at it, it's just the evolution. We got to an evolutionary point that.
Actually, I'm an idiot.
What?
Ripley died, and this was a
Clone. Yeah.
Oh, so I don't give a fuck what happens to her.
Okay.
I don't even fuck it. I'm fine. I'm fine with it.
This is the second end.
Well, now
Yeah.
this has nothing to do with Alien, but you're bringing up some really heavy stuff. Where do we feel on clones? And are they human or not? I don't think we're ready to go there.
No, I think we need a whole nother podcast for that.
Hey guys, crazy question.
Yeah.
If they were like, you know what, we've done enough prequels, let's make another sequel.
I'd be in on that.
Where would you go with the 8th movie?
Oh, with Sigourney?
Not 8th movie. Why am I saying 8th movie? What would you do after Alien Resurrection?
Honestly, I'm fine with the Sigourney Weaver character being... I mean, how many more times can they call up and say, there's aliens over here, and you know aliens the best, so we want you to kind of help us out with this thing, but we really don't want your help. We just kind of want the aliens. How many more times can they do that?
They've already done it like 4.
Yeah, I think they're tapped out on the Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah.
And I think they're the right move to go in the Prometheus direction. I personally didn't enjoy that movie the most, but I mean, we will get into that, but I think it was a better direction.
You know what? I agree. It's weird. The Alien universe is weird because you have Alien, and then you have Prometheus, which is pretty much Alien, and then you have Alien Covenant, which has Alien in the fucking name. Then you have Alien versus Predator, and then where there's aliens on Earth, and the Predators have to come help. And then you have Alien versus Predator Requiem, where there are aliens in the suburbs. And I was just going to say, like, I'd like to see aliens on Earth, but, like, the timelines are super fucked.
Yeah.
Because Alien versus Predator Requiem, they're clearly before Alien Resurrection. So, like, where the fuck are the fucking aliens coming from?
Maybe they were always here.
Oh,
like
God,
the
wait,
Predators.
like an Alien versus Predator.
Like an Alien versus Predator. And in the Predator movies, the Predators were always, like, hanging out here. They got to hang out sometimes and hunt, and then they go back to Predator Land.
I don't know. Yeah. The universe is confusing, and it's clearly not all canon. Like, I think they definitely are like, you can go for it.
Yeah, they're just throwing properties together.
But I don't know. I know next time we're watching Prometheus, and I don't want to get too far into it, but I like the movie, and I'm with Dom. I like where they're like, you know what? Let's maybe get into where these aliens came from. And that's what I want to see more of that. Like, when Prometheus was announced, they really didn't have a sequel. It didn't immediately greenlight a sequel because there were mixed reviews, and Ridley Scott was up and down about it. I was really into that storyline to kind of see the alien origins, and that's what I'd like to see more of, not like Ripley knowing that there are aliens again and again and again.
Yeah.
I recently watched 10 Cloverfield Lane and thought,
it's a great movie.
You could probably do the same idea with the Alien franchise, where you don't necessarily have to continue Sigourney Weaver's story, but you can probably do, humans interact with other alien species, and then maybe these aliens are somehow incorporated in that. But I'm not a movie maker, so I'm just spitballing.
I kind of get what you're saying. I would like to see other types of aliens rather than the xenomorph that are of higher intelligence that have dealt with the xenomorph. That would be interesting.
I like that. I'd watch that.
Yeah.
I think we're about ready to wrap up at least the Alien namesake movies, but we're definitely going to include Prometheus and the upcoming Alien Covenant in this. So I'm excited for next time where we'll be watching Prometheus. Ridley Scott is back at the helm.
At long break.
Long break. He's back, and we're going to check that out next week on Runaway Franchise. Let's go ahead and do the old sign-off. Dom, who are you, and where can we find you?
I am Dom Deladera, and you can find me at domsfunandgames.com. All sorts of video game reviews. And you can find me at Dom's Fun and Games on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
I'm Tom Napolitano. You can find me at tomnapolitano.com. You can check out my artwork and lettering work there. Teach me how to Twitter at TE_Napolitano, and check out pictures and updates at Tom_Napolitano on Instagram.
And my name is Ed Jelly, EDJELLEY.com. You can find reviews of fountain pens, inks, paper, stationery, maybe the occasional Simpsons reference. You can also catch me writing over at www.everydaycarry.com.
Ooh.
Oh, guess what? At Ed JELLEY on the Instagrams.
Make sure to rate, subscribe, and if you've got a question or want to see us cover a franchise, you can email us.
And where can we find that email? On runawayfranchise.com.
And remember, always keep it sexy.
Ugh.
Oh, gross.
All right, thank you.